everybody. Welcome to, we're doing an off week. We're missing a couple people, so we're going to do something else. We're going to play Monster of the Week. This is non-standard actions. It's a non-standard one-shot. This is the Valley of Headless Men, and Nick and Tom are going to be subject to the depravities of my mind in an all new way tonight. So
you know, but that you didn't say there was a Valley of Headless Men when you proposed this adventure.
I did tell you that it was in Nahanni National Park in Canada, and feel free to Google it. So I feel like it's on you.
When I Google things or remember things longer than a goldfish might. Come on now.
Thank you, Dan. That is someone I know from a server where we play Monster of the Week a lot, and they're super cool.
Well, hello, and welcome to the stream.
Sorry, I am trying to multitask. While I'm multitasking, Tom and Nick, say hello to everybody, and maybe introduce what you're going to be playing today.
Hello to everybody, and maybe introduce what you're going to be playing today.
Perfect. Nailed it.
Yes. Good job, Tom.
Hey, you too, Nick.
We did really well there. That was a lot of words to, keep together on.
It is. Jed always challenges us.
I know. He could never just, tell us to say something simple.
No. Saying something simple is pretty simple. Why don't you intro your character first so I know what to do?
Oh, goodness gracious. I'm playing Bliss. She is the playbook is Guardian, but she's a magical girl. With powers of healing and throwing a tantrum.
I'm playing Chet Simmons. He is using the playbook The Primal, which I understand to be a playtest playbook, possibly from this server that we have some people here today. He is the primal embodiment. Well, he embodies darkness. So he's a bit of an edgelord. It's fine. We'll see how much I can play that out. And yeah. Chet is just, he's very brooding, very dark.
Bliss is the opposite of an edgelord.
Well, this is just a fantastic pairing that we've come up with then.
I know. Dark and light. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
And I do want to mention real quick, the Primal is courtesy of Mike Keck. They have an itch.io. It's https://mike.motw.itch.io/ I wanted to credit them.
Yeah, definitely.
And the person that did the Guardian, I contacted them and they're like, yeah, do whatever. You don't have to mention me.
Yeah.
This playbook is pretty great, but it's missing a looks section. It is, which I was disappointed by. It just sort of said make it up, and I'm horribly uncreative without prompts. So
that is fair. I was gonna say the prompts are more like guidelines, and I usually disregard them wildly.
Some people like to disregard things wildly, and some people like to be prompted. Jet. Some people like a box to create inside of.
I get it. I get it.
Hi.
But all of that being said, I have a little opening scene for us. The viewers, and you, the players, will get to experience this opening scene. Your characters will not get to experience this opening scene. So we're going to start by looking over a swift-moving river, the sky darkening quickly. Into our view comes a bright blue raft with 5 occupants paddling hard for the shore. They beach themselves and, racing the sunset, start making camp and cooking dinner. As they're enjoying each other's company around the fire, the clouds open up and rain pours on them. Two couples run for the two larger tents, and a woman runs for her own smaller, single-person tent. As the storm intensifies and the sky darkens, our view shifts as we seem to climb down a tree, across the ground, squeeze into a not fully secure tent flap, and once inside, crawl alongside the single occupant to observe her face for just a few moments. All of a sudden, her eyes snap open, and a look of utter terror washes over her face as she focuses on us. A scream starts to escape her lips, but we lunge forward, and everything fades to black.
Can't be good.
Nah, she's probably fine.
I don't think she's fine.
You don't think so? So, and in order to expedite this and make this a lot easier, what has happened is you are loosely affiliated with a group known as FIRST. Folklore Incarnate Response Surveillance. And, oh man, I even wrote this and I've forgotten it. It's been so long since I wrote it. 1 second. I'm sorry. I wanted to not lean on it, but I have to go back and look. Folklore Incarnate Response and Surveillance Task Force. I almost had it. They are a group of park rangers, primarily, but not limited to the borders of the United States. They actually have responsibilities globally. It's just they started in the United States. And you are loosely affiliated with them, and their responsibility is the supernatural, cryptids, things that go bump in the night, and sometimes those things need to just be relocated because humanity has sort of encroached on their territory, and sometimes those things need bumped back on. But what's happened is Nahanni National Park, 5 rafters have gone missing. Their raft was found by a group of hikers as they were hiking upriver into Nahanni National Park. It was pretty beat up, and it stood out enough because there were some blood spatters that Mounties were contacted. The Mounties then kicked this information over to FIRST because Nahanni National Park has almost a century of supernatural shenanigans going on in it, and the Mounties were enough in the know that they contacted the people that deal with the supernatural, and you were tasked to go investigate. So now you're not full park rangers, but should you wish it, they could give you like a badge or something so that you could maybe bluff your way into something. But some Mounties are expecting you.
Us?
Yes, they're expecting you. All they know is your names, so their first impressions could be completely wild. Who knows?
Well, I don't think anybody's going to believe Twinkle Toes here is in the park ranger service, but
you could be a contractor. That is true.
It is worth noting that Bliss is dressed in normal teenager clothes at the moment.
okay, all right. I rescind that hesitantly.
I have to use the transformation device to get the magic outfit.
What is your transformation device? I missed that if you mentioned it.
Oh, it's an umbrella.
Oh, your transformation device is the umbrella.
Well,
This is so fun.
that is.
We both have transformations that we can make.
Do we?
Yeah. You'll see mine. Yeah, you'll see mine maybe. Who knows?
So what does this non-transformed Chet look like? Exactly.
So, humanoid Chet, if you will, is perfectly normal human that's just always, no matter where he's standing, seems to be standing in shadow. Even, outside on a bright sunny day, his features are, dark and hooded, and he's shadowy. He's wearing normal street clothes, that kind of thing, like, sort of older style. Again, muted colors. He doesn't really see it like, again, I introduced him as like sort of, he's connected to the primal force of darkness. He doesn't necessarily exude anything beyond always sort of being in shadow. It's not like, it doesn't have darkness flowing from him or anything like that, but he's just sort of an unassuming looking kind of guy who sort of keeps to himself.
Nice. So we've got an unassuming teenager and presumably her legal guardian. I think is it a her or is it a?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Her legal guardian, at least for this moment, unless you're by teenager you're 18 and therefore a legal adult.
I mean, it's hard to say. She's an old enough teenager that,
Yeah, you'll get to lie to Mounties. You are going to be taking a flight to Canada. I'm not going to put any red tape in your way, but that does give you time potentially to do some research on the park if you would like, because it was brought to your attention that potentially supernatural shenanigans have been happening in this park for so very long, or at least weird things have been happening in the park for so very long. Would either of you be interested in doing that, or do you just want to wing it upon arrival? I'm fine with either way, but I wanted to give you the option.
Sure, Bliss will have a book that she found, maybe at the airport, national parks or something.
I mean, you could also just pay for the Wi-Fi access or whatever in Google.
Chat does that.
Have you ever tried to Google with in-flight Wi-Fi?
I've never been on a plane.
Wow.
You don't want to have to do research. It's not great.
Okay. So the two of you can put your heads together. One of you make an investigative mystery roll. You can decide between the two of you. And should it become important, i.e. one of you, whoever rolls misses by at least one, the other person can help out.
Where are you? Chet, do you look sharp? I have glasses. I look sort of sharp.
You have
or
glasses.
Nerdy, you're not sure which.
You're probably sharper than I am.
All right.
Yeah. Why don't you take the lead on this one? Oh, nice.
That is a 9. Which is a mixed success.
That means I could change the result, couldn't I?
You could change the result. Yeah. If you want to
Okay.
help out, feel free to roll to help out.
Yeah, Chet will do his best here.
That's all you can do.
Oh, there's a little prompt. Sorry. I should be used to little prompts.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's good. Holding is pretty normal. Oh no!
Now it's telling me I rolled a 5, dear listener.
Yes.
It's telling me to mark experience. Do I actually mark experience for helping out?
Yes, you mark experience. Anytime you roll 6 or lower, you mark experience. Unless, and here is a mechanic of Monster of the Week, Tom. There is something called luck. A traditional character for a non-one-shot has 7 luck. I'm giving each of you 2 because I am kind and benevolent. If you fail a roll or you don't succeed to the extent that you wish, you can spend a point of luck, making the roll a 12 plus. Or, alternately, you can spend a point of luck to utterly negate an amount of damage that has just been done to you, like one source of damage.
Gotcha.
When you've spent all of your luck, you are now doomed. At which point, I get to mess with you, willy-nilly, to my heart's content.
Only having 2 luck means we cannot use these characters later. Or, I mean, we can, but they'll just be very hard to use because they have no advancements and only 2 luck.
That's fine. I'm giving you minimal luck right now because I don't want you guys to spend it like it's candy. Should you choose to play them again later, I'll basically ratchet you back up if it becomes a continuous thing. I will just, like, if you've spent 1 luck now, if you decide you want to play them again and they survive this mission, you'll just have 6 instead of 7. But I wanted it to be precious this time around. I didn't want...
All right.
Does that make sense?
I suppose. I'm just never going to remember. I'm going to pull this character out of the closet later and be like, what? Well, I guess I'm almost dead.
It's fine. It's fine. So, Tom, mark experience. I now have a hard move that I can choose to use on you right now should I want. But, it's going to be a mystery what I'm doing with that hard move for right now. Nick, you did get a 9, which is a mixed success.
Yes.
So, you get to hold 1. What question would you like to ask? And just because someone might be listening to this at some point and might not know anything about Monster of the Week, I'm going to read their questions real quick.
Okay.
The questions for Investigative Mystery are, what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here? Which is sort of the broadest question, but...
Which is sort of like the only one that really works right now, because
and the other thing is these questions are filtered through the lens of what you're researching or doing. So you're looking up information on the park.
Right. I mean, I guess we could also go with what happened here. If we have the Googles, then we could be looking at news stories and things. Maybe what happened here?
So are you're trying to look up the recent event is what you're trying to look up, or are you trying to? I mean, events that happened in the park, right? What happened? Events that happened in the park. What happened here?
Weird things.
So going all the way back to 1906, mysterious things have been happening. Beyond that, but within like where newspapers would take note, 1906 is kind of where it begins. There have been a series of disappearances, murders. This park is known as the Valley of Headless Men for a reason. In 1906, Willie and Frank McLeod just disappeared. To be found many years later in their campsite, just missing their heads. 1917,
like you do.
Martin Jorgensen in 1917 disappeared. Anne Leifert in 1926 disappeared, but then was seen later naked walking through the woods and then ran off to try and climb a mountain, presumably. Bill Apierre and Joe Mulholland in 1936 also disappeared. Almost all of these people found their bodies found later, missing their heads. And this is not me making something up for the mystery. This is actual history of this area. There is also a John Doe and a John O'Brien in 1945, Angus Mackenzie in 1962. There are even more that are just less well known, or they are legitimate John Does. No one ever figured out their names. But two things that are in common with pretty much all of these are their heads are missing, and the last set of murders was approximately 10 years prior. So about every 10 years, a couple people go missing, their bodies to then be found with them minus their heads.
Well, that sounds more ritualistic than cryptid.
There was even a suspect at one point who got into a shooting fight with the Mounties, gut shot a Mountie. I believe the Mountie eventually died, and then the other Mountie had to foot chase the other guy for about 30 kilometers before he died in a hail of gunfire. And they found just a jar full of teeth there, but they're not sure that those teeth actually belong to the victims because they never found the skulls.
Well,
okay.
Also, real history.
Weird.
very.
Yeah, Sarah's loving this in the background as a true crime podcast junkie. So that's kind of on the nose, don't you think? Headless National Park, whatever it's called, and people end up headless. It's very literal.
It is pretty literal. I guess we have to figure out what's taking these heads, since First is concerned about it.
Well, I guess we'll find out when we get there. There isn't anything else that we can do to prepare for this, is there?
I mean, you have your equipment that's listed on your playbook, and you've done a little bit of digging into what's going on in the park, and I don't think there's anything else you can really do mechanically. What you are for a fairly long flight into Canada, and from that airport you have to hop into a small bush plane to get flown out further to meet the Mounties in question. You have two options here. You can fly and you can meet the Mounties, and they can liaise with you and try and help you out and answer any questions because they have access to the reports on the raft. Or you could take off up the northern section of the river and maybe raft down it to try and find anything along the riverbanks. You've got options. I'm not going to tell you have to go meet the Mounties, but while you're in flight, you've done the research that you're going to do.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we should probably meet the Mounties. Going floating down a river through Headless territory sounds ill-advised without more information.
I guess so. That's fine. We can meet the Mounties.
Sure. So you'll hop in a smaller, like a bush plane, and you'll get flown out to where there's a Mountie station, a ranger station equivalent, and you're greeted by three individuals. They introduce themselves. One is Audrey Bishop, and if I had to pick an actor or actress in this instance, a young Angela Bassett. There is a Parker Davies, played by Lorne Cardinal, most prominently featured on the show Corner Gas as the local sheriff. And then there's Margaret Bondar, played by Tara Spencer Nairn, also of Corner Gas.
I'm sorry, Jet. None of these names mean anything to me.
I was giving them to you so people could Google them if they would like. I'll actually copy and paste them into the chat. Angela Bassett, approximately around the time period of Critters 4. When I say a young Angela Bassett, you'll probably recognize her. You might not recognize Lorne Cardinal or Tara Spencer Nairn.
Well, as we get into the bush plane, and the Mounties are going with us.
They flew you to meet them. They're there
okay.
to answer any questions. If you would like to try and convince them to go with you, you can 100%, but that would involve dice rolls.
Oh, that doesn't sound like something that Jet wants.
No, that's fine.
So-
You can convince them all you want, but there's a chance of failure on your part.
Oh, sure. So these bodies that keep showing up, have any been preceded by events like this? You described, or we were told of bloody tents and stuff like that.
Actually, you know nothing of the tents. You know of the raft that has blood samples on it.
Okay. That's what I said then. Terribly sorry.
Parker Davies kind of officiously stepping over the other two Mounties will kind of jump in there and be like, yes, we found the raft was found. We were called in. We investigated. We took samples. The reason that we kicked this over is, one, the history of the park, and two, a number of the blood samples were actually eventually kicked over to the U.S. as we were trying to track down who they belonged to, and they got flagged in the U.S. military database. So there's a couple missing military personnel. And then we tracked down the families from there, and we found out that it was a group of 5 friends, 2 couples. They were just going on a rafting trip, coming down the river. They were only expected to be a few days, and they just haven't shown up, and all we found of them is their raft. And knowing the weird history of this park, we immediately kicked it over to First to hopefully get some people that specialize in this sort of thing.
Well, that was a good call. So this isn't something. In our research, we didn't find anything about weird. Well, I guess there were weird occurrences with the one lady that showed up naked and then tried to climb a mountain before her body was found without a head. So I guess, in your opinion, does this fit the MO of the previous, occurrences? Weird thing, then eventually you're expecting to find a body without a head.
I mean, as of right now, I'm definitely expecting in the next year or so to find a body without a head. But, maybe we can prevent that from happening if we could track them down now.
That's the idea.
Easiest way to do that is the plane's being refueled as we speak. We've got a raft here for you. Go to the head of the river and come down, because otherwise you're fighting the current.
All right. Bliss, do you have anything to add here?
Bliss has just sort of been surveying the area and seeing if what they're like. Is there anything to see here? Or is just nondescript?
I think the one thing that's standing out to you is Margaret Bondar she keeps having to bite her lip every time Davies talks, and Bishop looks irritated every time he talks as well.
Yeah, Bliss will ask about that.
Just gonna say something out loud about it in front of him as well.
Yeah, no, this is the benefit of being being a teenager, right? You don't have to have the best manners in the world.
Okay, so what exactly does Bliss say? I want to hear this.
Well, I hate it when you do this to me. So, what are you leaving out? You two look like he's leaving something out.
Okay. Hey Nick, roll to manipulate someone, because you're putting them kind of on the spot in front of a potential superior officer.
I got a 12!
So you're manipulating someone, and you got a 12 plus, and that means for a normal person, not another hunter, you don't have the advanced move because these are new characters. They'll do it for you. They'll do it for the reason you gave them. If you ask too much, they'll tell you the minimum it would take for them to do it. I think you say that out loud, and everyone except for Davies looks uncomfortable. Davies looks oblivious, and I think the two ladies actually look at you, and then they look over near a storage shed, and they kind of slightly tilt their head.
All right. Bliss will play along. She'll follow them.
Yeah, and they'll walk over there, and they'll be like, Davies, we're going to go get her kitted out. She's obviously not ready for a hike, and.
No, these are entirely the wrong shoes.
Chet will, keep Davies distracted, picking up on what Bliss is doing.
And they'll walk you over in the corner, and they're like, and feel free to ask him. You said, what is he leaving out? And they're going to tell you, Davies is an idiot. He thinks that this is probably just they're eating the wrong mushroom and running off in the woods. He doesn't really believe that these people are in any real danger. He's just mouthing the words that the higher ups that told us to kick this over to first are saying. He has no drive to really find these people. He thinks they're going to just walk out of the woods in a week. We think they're in very real danger. Please find them. Something is wrong in that valley.
We'll do our best. Is there anything else we should know?
we haven't ever found the bodies soon enough to get any, like, no one's ever found the bodies soon enough. Like, the weirdest thing the one outlier we found was the lady that was naked and ran off towards the mountains. Like, that's the one standout incident. We can tell you, and they'll pull out a map of the park, and they'll mark a couple, like, locations for you to check out and be like, they'll be like, this is where this body was, this is where this body was, this is where this body was, and then they'll kind of circle some other spots and be like, this is a good spot. Like, if someone were to pull over, like, they could probably beach their raft here, because it's it's possible but unlikely that they were attacked on the river itself. The raft wasn't damaged. They'll give you a couple spots to look out for, so you hopefully don't, like, breeze by, if that makes sense.
All right. Well, Bliss will thank them for it.
Yeah, just be careful. And they're looking at you in a very concerned manner because you are very young.
Not very. Think like 17. Like, could sort of go either way.
From these women that are in their late 20s, early 30s, very young. Kayla, that's someone from the server. They just followed us or subscribed.
Nice.
Hello and thank you. So yeah, I guess Chet has been making sure that he's outfitted appropriately, talking to...
Yeah, Davies has just been talking your ear off. And he's been telling you... And you can tell, I'm not even going to make you roll. He's telling you what he thinks you want to hear about the incident.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. He's, so...
Like, you can tell 100% he does not believe that these people are in real danger. Like, they might be injured, but they're not in any real true danger. All they'll have to do is follow the riverbank for a few days. They should be fine. The amount of blood they found was minimal. It wasn't like it was like, ugh, someone's hemorrhaging out.
Right. Yeah, at that point, I think Chet is just, becomes disinterested in talking with Davies and begins making sure his pack is ready and stuff like that. But, well, all of that has been very helpful. Thank you, Ranger Davies. And we'll be sure to check in with you when we can. But don't expect to hear from us too often.
Yeah, sure. I think I've changed his voice once again, but this feels better.
That does sound like my stereotypical vision of what a Mountie sounds like. So
sure. Looks like the plane's fueled up. They'll drop you off at the top of at the mouth of the river, and just keep your eyes peeled. I'm sure you'll just see them lazing about, hanging on a campsite. They just lost their raft.
If we could only be so lucky.
And he backtracked there at the last. He's been telling you what he thinks you want to hear, and then at the very end there, he's just putting it out there. He's like, I don't think anything.
Yeah. Well, that will mean an easy job for me and mine, but we'll see. Stay safe.
Oh yeah, no worries. We're safe as houses here. And right. You guys can get in that plane, and unless there's anything else you want to do.
No, I suppose we'll begin our float down the river.
Sure. Yeah, the plane will land on the water actually, and allow you to deploy that. It's like a self-inflating raft, and you can drift down the river. And
Sweet.
You drift for a while. How well are you guys at rafting? How good are you guys at rafting? I think that maybe you should act under pressure as you get close to some rapids, maybe.
I'd like to think that Chet is pretty outdoorsy, being a primal. He is in tune with nature and stuff like that. So Chet will roll to act under pressure. I believe that's cool.
It is plus cool. Yep.
All right. It's a mixed success. It's an 8.
Pretty good.
Success. Yeah, that is not bad. What that means is on a 7 to 9, I'm going to give you a worse outcome, a hard choice, or a price to pay. So you guys can successfully traverse some minor rapids along the way down, but you have a slow leak, or you overbalance slightly, and some piece of your equipment falls in the river.
I think it's a slow leak that Chet notices this as we're, going down the river, and we start feeling a little low in the water, and he starts cursing to himself and says, "Those darn Mounties just gave us some crap equipment. I can't believe this." He starts muttering to it. "There's a leak in the raft.
Are we gonna drown?"
No, we're not gonna drown, Bliss. Calm down. It's fine. We need to get to this is a temporary mode of transportation now, as opposed to more permanent."
Sure. And I think what happens is, again, it's a very slow leak, so it's not like gonna go down in the next 5 or 10 minutes. You've got a little bit of time, and if one of you actually would put pressure on it, you could buy yourself more time. So you'll paddle for a little ways, and eventually there'll be a break in the trees, and you'll actually see the remains of a campsite.
Presumably the one we're looking for. Let's look at the map the ranger ladies gave her.
Yeah. The map, the tents look messed up. And if you do take the time to look at the map and look at the markings from the ranger ladies, you're like, this was the first and most likely campsite. But you see 3 tents. 2 of them are larger than than the third one, and they look kind of messed up and shredded. And the campfire's burned low. There's some stuff knocked over, and you can see that from a distance. It's blatantly obvious. It's not subtle tears or damage to the tents.
This looks like where they were camped. Should we get out and look around?
Yes. I'll pull the raft ashore as much as I can. And I steer us over to the riverbed.
You do so successfully. I'm not going to make a roll for that. I've already punished you by putting a leak in your raft.
That's okay.
You are a kind, benevolent GM. Yeah, let's take a look around.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, describe to me what you want to do. Like you said, you want to take a look around. Tell us how that plays out, and then we'll make a roll.
Bliss goes to look at the tears in the tents.
Okay. So roll to investigate a mystery. Roll plus sharp.
All right. That's an 8.
8, which is a mixed success. Hold 1, and you have the questions in front of you, Nick. I've already read them.
I do, yes. What sort of creature is it? What made these tears?
They almost... Just based on looking at the tears, I don't know if you can necessarily 100% figure out, it's exactly this creature. But
No,
I can tell you that these tears look like something very sharp slashed through it. It almost looks like a blade did this, but then you look at the ground and you see markings in the ground. I'm just gonna add this in to give you context because I don't want you to be like, it's a knife-wielding lunatic. It looks like there's something as sharp as a knife did this, and then you look down and you see there's pinpricks on the ground as though something's walking on whatever might have made these slashes.
Okay.
Weird. What walks like that? Chet, look at this.
Chet will crouch over the weird markings. And I was thinking Chet would try and he would like close his eyes and try and like read the aura of this area, like, you know, try, like he's going full on like close his eyes ranger mode, like, you know, he's trying to sense the unseen. I hope that's not an actual move. I'm really not trying to call my shot here, but like
it sort of is, but it also sounds like you're trying to use magic.
Yeah, he's gonna tap into his magic to sort of get a glean of anything, you know, that is not visible to the naked eye.
So, well, there are very specific effects with use magic. And again, because people might not be aware of this, there's inflict harm, which it's just a magical form of damage. Enchant a weapon. Do one thing beyond human limitations. Bar a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature. Trap a specific person, minion, or monster. Banish a spirit or curse from a person, object, or place that it inhabits. Summon a monster into the world. Communicate with something you do not share a language with. And here's the one that I think you're leaning towards, on whether or not you realized it. Observe another place or time. And then finally, there's also heal one harm from an injury or cure a disease or neutralize a poison. But it seems like you're trying to look at another time almost.
No, I like summon a monster into the world. Yes, I would like to observe another time.
You can just summon a monster.
Yeah,
a monster with a really good nose.
Yeah, I would like to summon the monster of the story. No. So, yes, I will, I guess, yeah, Chet's trying to sort of cast his mind back and, you know, observe, maybe get a glimpse of what happened here.
Sure. So roll plus weird.
Right. I have to roll to make that happen. It's a failure.
That's a failure, or earlier on,
I can spend a luck point. Yeah.
Well, no, there's a luck point, but Dan also spent stream points to give you a +1, which is significantly more powerful in Monster of the Week.
It's 1/12 as opposed to 1/20 of a difference.
But it is like a help out, right?
It is a help out, yeah.
The audience is helping out. So with Jet's blessing, Dan, I will gladly take that +1. Dan says to celebrate the first roll. It was the first. This is not the first roll, but I think they probably did it
when you made your first failure, I believe.
Yeah. So now we'll pay it forward and turn this failure into a mixed success.
All right. So a mixed success on a use magic is you get to pick an effect, and you're trying to look at another time or place, and then you also have to pick a glitch. And what it is you pick the type of glitch, and then I decide how it manifests. And the glitches are: the effect is weakened, the effect is of short duration, you take 1 harm, ignore armor, the magic draws immediate unwelcome attention, or there's a problematic side effect.
Immediate unwanted attention is a sleeper wonderful move.
It helps advance the story a lot if you're having trouble investigating, because you can get the monster to come to you.
I was thinking I really like the magic draws immediate unwelcome attention. Like, you know, I'm casting my mind out there. Who knows what else is out there listening? So,
I mean, if you want that one,
that's what I would.
It's a great plot point when you draw immediate unwanted attention.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I'm all for an immediate unwanted attention in role-playing games.
That's fine.
Not so much real life. Only in our fantasy world.
No. I like to be unnoticed most of the time.
So I think what it is you're looking at another time, and what it is you're looking at the moment of the attack, and you see everything I described in the opening scene. From the perspective, and as the creature, but it doesn't fade to black right at that moment. You see it lunge for the young woman's face, and you see 2 bladed limbs, and I say limbs and I'm holding up my hands, but it's like a single spike insect-like limb, come forward and actually stab her in the eyes and end her. And then you see it split her scalp with its bladed talons, and you see it climb inside, and you see it stand up using her body. And then you see it go to the next tent and unzip it, and then you see, and I'm going to show you, an image, Tom.
Oh no. Oh no!
Where is it at for me? Nope, not the one I want.
It's gonna be some AI-generated nightmare fuel.
It is going to
Just
be
know it.
AI-generated nightmare fuel.
AI is great at nightmare fuel.
Yeah, that's pretty much exclusively what it produces.
Percent.
Not exclusively.
I said pretty much.
Have you seen my adorable magical girls? I made a whole series of them.
You saw my?
What's
Did
the
you
same
see my?
magical girl
Did you
about
see
my
my
night
Jansen
fuel?
Eccles as a magical girl?
Okay.
And I made Reginald the Witch-Eating Hedgehog. And I made a pastry office where they inspect pastries.
Okay.
I made a pastry vault that one time. That was. Where did it go? Curses. Sorry, I thought I had this handout ready.
I was riffing on AI art stall to give you time. Ah,
I am the worst. I do
What
bring the
else?
gross, so you have to.
oh, I made a secret underground garden. That one was pretty cool.
Cool.
I have a whole collection of neat.
So I'm going to temporarily take us to the tabletop, and people are going to be confused by the cheese wheels, because they have no context for that.
I know I am.
Cheese wheels. It's roller derby. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, it's a roller derby team and another Monster of the Week game I ran.
Okay.
There is a handout, show to players, show to everyone.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
Yep.
And you see a number of those climb into the tent as the person's hand like reaches out where once a spider limb was, and they unzip the tent flap, they go to the next tent flap, and they unzip that, and the fighting ensues, and you see spider limbs sticking out of the tent and slicing through it as the damage implied, and eventually you see from your perspective, you see 4 other people in various states of undress with like a seam along their scalp, and the AI generated art doesn't do it justice, but those little red orby eyes are actually supposed to be all too human looking eyes, but they're all uniformly the same color staring back at you.
Oh. Chet, shudders a little bit and opens his eyes. Well, that was unsettling. And I've seen some stuff. He goes on to describe the spider skull things with human eyes. I'm just gonna go ahead and close that handout.
That's terrifying.
You're gonna close that handout? You don't like it?
I don't like it. I have closed it. Spiders are friends, but not
Also
that one.
closed. So
That one is not a friend.
Not a friend, no.
All right, so it seems that these spider creatures can crawl inside people and move them around. At least it's from the perspective in my vision. That was what I saw. So we should be careful of any other people that we come across. And did I see any distinguishing marks on these people? I mean, you said I saw like a split scalp, right?
It's a seam.
Okay.
Like once the spider has climbed inside, it closes it back up, and it's just a very faint seam. And the other thing is they all have exactly the same eyes. They're not the red googly eyes that are in that image. They are like vibrant blue, all too human eyes.
Okay.
And
Whole lot of nope.
as you say, you need to be careful. You feel a sting on your ankle. Because I'm using my hard move now. And I need you to take 1 harm. And we've got a custom move here that I need you to resist.
Small interruption. I have 1 armor for being a primal.
Oh my, you don't need to resist this custom move because the damage did not get through. You feel a sting on your ankle and you look down, and there is a skull-sized spider chewing on your ankle.
Oh.
Smack it with my umbrella.
You smack it with your umbrella. Roll to.
Oh wait, did I notice it, or does Chet jump like?
I think that you would notice him going ah, and then looking down, and you would your eyes would probably follow suit. I don't think it's hidden from you any longer, but you do see that's you smack it. Roll to kick some ass, because I assume your intent is to harm it.
Yes. My intent is to murder it if I at all can. There's kick some ass.
That is a big success.
That's 9.
So you trade established damages. What kind of harm does your umbrella do?
1 harm, magic.
Okay, so there's a little chip in the skull, and the spider screes at you. For some reason, I feel like I'm muted on Discord. I am not. Okay.
You are not.
No.
All right. That was just my having to double mute getting to me. It screes at you, and then it jumps at you. And you see its little spider legs are tipped in almost like little scalpel-shaped bladed protuberances, and it slashes into your torso with its scalpel-sharp tarsus for 2 harm. And you there's just blood spraying everywhere because these are very messy injuries.
Chet?
My umbrella also gives me 1 armor, so I will take 1.
Can Chet take a move?
Yes.
He will reach out his hand and say, "Please hold still," and darkness will gather around his outreached fingers and pool, and then shoot in an orb towards the spider thing. This is question, because I couldn't find a good reference for attributes. This has 2 harm, far, primal. Far is the concerning thing for me here. Is far going to be a problem?
So I'll just go over that real quick. So there are moves that have tags like intimate. That would be something like a vampire's bite, because you have to get so very close. Then there is hand, which is something kind of within arm's reach, like a sword or something like that. Close, which is something within that's
umbrella smacking distance.
Well, close is like a handgun. Far is like
no, my umbrella is close.
Wow, you have a magical growing umbrella, I think.
Or it shoots magic out of it. Yeah.
Or it shoots magic out of it.
Yeah. That's the nice thing. It's up.
So far as you could snipe someone with this attack is what this means.
Sweet. Okay.
And how
actually, we don't need to get that close to things.
No. Yeah. So, I would like to orb this thing, and I'm gonna roll to kick some ass.
Sure.
Which is plus tough.
Yeah.
That's an 11.
So on a 10 plus, you trade harms, but you get extra options because you got 10 or more on a kick some ass roll, and those options are you can pick one of these. You gain the advantage. Take +1 forward or give +1 forward to another hunter, and +1 forward is a +1 to your next roll. That once it's done, there's no more +1s. It's just a one-time +1. You inflict terrible harm, +1 harm. You suffer less harm, -1 harm to you, or you force them where you want them if you're trying to reposition an enemy.
I think, you know what? I think I'm gonna take that last one. You force them where you want them. because I want this spider off of my companion here, my ally. So
Blow it into the woods.
yeah, I think the orb like hits the spider thing, and it says orb, but I think for the purpose of like, in this case, it's probably going to be like tendrils of darkness connected to my hand, and I like the tendrils will sort of slap onto the spider and then rip it off and throw it as far away as I can,
Sure.
reasonably do.
And that does 2 harm.
That is 2 harm.
Yeah, you lash out with that tendril, it wraps around it, and it whips the spider sort of across the clearing and into the trees, and you see it actually get skewered on a branch, and it sort of vibrates there for a second and then hangs limp.
Before we continue, do I take harm? You mentioned that I trade harm.
Narratively, I don't see how it would make sense. I guess unless you whipped it right past you, and maybe one of its limbs flailed out and it caught you. I think that's how I could justify it. So it would again be its very sharp tarsus for 2 harm, and it's messy,
Okay.
so there's a lot of blood.
So I'll take 1 harm because of my armor.
Sure.
Cool.
And seeing my friend hurt in defense of me, I will point my umbrella at Chet and do a heal.
So.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's a 5. Oh no!
So because the Guardian is a playtest playbook, and people are not going to be familiar with it, can you read the name of the move and the contents of the move?
Yes.
Just so people
Healing
know.
escalation. Your transformation device comes with the ability to heal those around you. When your friends or the innocent get hurt in front of you, roll plus weird. On 12 plus, I heal 4 harm and may split it between patients, stabilizing anyone brought above 4 harm. On 10 plus, heal your patient 2 harm and stabilize them. On 7 to 9, some of your life energy gets transferred to them. Take 2 harm and heal your patient by 2 harm. On less than 6, your emotions get the better of you. Take -1 ongoing to cool until your friends get medical attention. Yes.
Well,
That's fine.
this is
You're
fine.
emotionally devastated by your failure, and you get to mark experience, and I think because, we have a shorter time period than traditionally it's like for these one-shots for Monster of the Week, I've done 4 hours. We're shortening this a little bit. So you start to see trees bend, and they're coming towards you. You see a tree, you hear it crack, and it goes...
Oh, that can't be good. Bliss opens the umbrella, spins it, and yells, "Present power makeup!" And her hair goes from being brown to pink, and suddenly she has, dazzling, perfectly done makeup and this fancy magic armor. And for some reason time stops while all these changes happen.
I love it. And I love that we had the same idea because Chet will also, curse under his breath. And in quite the opposite process, he doesn't say a word after he curses, but instead just sort of withdraws into himself for a moment, and then the shadows that seem to cling to him just sort of grow and erupt and bubble forth, and he grows about a foot taller. And he is now made almost entirely of shadow. You can see some wisps of his eyes, or one eye at a time, or his mouth or something like that. And he has taken his primal form.
I like these two are always a team because they're just too good not to be. I do get to roll weird when I do my transformation.
Roll weird.
As I take my guardian form, that is an 8. So I can enter and dispel my guardian form at will as long as I'm holding my transformation device. I have 1 armor and no one can identify me unless I transform in front of them. Once per mystery when you transform into your guardian form, roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, hold 4. On a 7 to 9, hold 3. On a miss, hold 2, but the enemy gets the drop on you. While you're transformed, you may spend 1 of your hold to take plus 1 forward. So I have 3 hold because I got 8.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I really love the art that Midjourney generated that we are allowed to use because of their commercial license.
Yes, I changed it like 3 times. Did you see the last one I settled on?
I saw the first one, and now there's this one. I didn't know if there was one in between.
Yes. Yeah. This is.
But
There's like 1.5 before. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's these dramatic, almost side-by-side transformations, one of complete darkness and one of this brilliant pink light, and as you stand there in probably an accidental almost sailor or Ginyu pose between the two of you, two
it's
more
not
trees
accidental.
well, not accidental on your part, but accidental on Chet's part.
Chet doesn't. Yeah, Chet does not agree to pose ever. It just usually happens that way.
And a giant version of the smaller spider that you just defeated bursts forth, knocking down 2 trees in the process. And following behind it are 5 uncoordinatedly walking human individuals.
Oh, that's definitely not good.
No, I'm afraid not. I guess Chet is gonna start hurling shadow magic at the if that's all right. If that's
the
all right
official
with you.
name I have given them are cranial spiders. So there are the cranial spider drones, cranial spider queen, and the humans I'm referring to as meat suits.
Gross. Thanks, I hate it.
If gross. So I'm gonna roll at the queen, who I presume to be the queen.
Sure. It is significantly larger. It's like the size of a bear.
Okay, so we're gonna roll plus tough to kick some ass. We are going to roll orb once again. While I am in my the name of the power is Shape of a Puddle, which I love, even if Chet is not so whimsical. So while I am in my Shape of a Puddle of Darkness, you have access to your gear and moves, but are obviously inhuman. In addition, choose one of the following. Your other form is, I chose Slippery, immune to restraining and forceful. So just so you know that, Chet.
No idea how lucky that choice that you made was.
Yeah, I like... Man, in every system I play, no matter how crunchy or not crunchy it is, I hate being restrained. I hate being grappled, I hate being pinned, I hate being paralyzed, so I was just like, you know what? That was like my lizard brain was like, no, don't let them restrain you. So here comes, anyway, a roll plus tough with... this time it is just like a spirit bomb of just shadow and darkness that is going to hopefully collide with the queen. Nope, that's a 4. It's a 4.
So you hurl that bolt of darkness, and faster than you would believe this queen could react, she jukes to the side and then lunges forward at you, and she bites at you. She is significantly larger. Her fangs do 2 harm, and I believe that's at least 1 damage to you, correct?
It is. I have no greater armor in this form, but I still have that 1 armor, so 1 harm taken.
Awesome. How many harm have you taken total?
That is my 2nd.
Okay.
So I see I've got 1 more before I'm unstable.
Unstable, yes. But because those fangs did bite into you and deal damage, I need you to roll plus tough. Because there is a custom move.
Sure.
Oh no.
That's
Oh,
a
no.
5. I think I really do want to use a piece of luck here, a point of luck, just because this feels like bad mojo. So we're gonna roll. We're gonna spend a point of luck to turn that into a 12.
Okay. The spider's venom fails to take hold. You are free to act normally, as opposed to what would have happened. You lose control of your body. You slump to the ground. You're still conscious, can see, hear, and feel everything happening to and around you, but you can't do anything physical.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
paralytic
I'm
venom.
sure that'll happen. I'm sure it'll happen eventually. Don't worry. Oof.
Yeah. So Nick, how does Bliss respond to this bum rush by this
Oh my
bear-sized
God.
spider that just bit your companion?
I don't like that thing, not one bit.
And don't forget, we've got 5 shambling humans slowly making their way over as well.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I think Bliss points her umbrella at, who do I want to point it at? Oh no! There's so many options. The big one, I suppose. And attempts to, put a cage around it with magic. Ah, it's a 9. Would like to trap the big one.
Did you say? Oh, you're using magic. Wow, that rolled right off me. Sorry.
Yeah, my primary stat is weird, man.
You want to trap it.
Same.
Okay, so that happens, but you gotta pick a glitch. What glitch are you selecting?
Problematic side effect.
Problematic side effect. I think you fire that beam of, I'm presuming, pink magical energy at the creature, and it hits, and there is that beam connecting you. And I don't want to mention she who shall not be named, but very much like Voldemort and Harry Potter, when the wands connect, because they share cores, like you are bound as the Spider Queen is bound. So you can break that connection anytime you want, but it will free the Spider Queen.
All
But as
right.
long as you maintain your focus,
Okay.
she is bound and not moving. Does
All
that
right.
make sense?
I have lassoed the Spider Queen with pink
Yep.
magic.
And I think I'm going to ask Chet to roll plus sharp.
Oh boy.
Because
Chet is
I'm
not
asking
sharp.
you to read a bad situation.
Okay. Ha. That's a 3.
Oh no!
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I should have used.
Well, marking experience.
You misread
No,
the
I have-
situation, or you might reveal tactical details to your enemies. Or I can just ask you questions that you have to answer.
Do I get to choose?
I think you misread the situation, and you're like, this can't be the queen. This has to just be some brute behemoth. I need to take out the smaller ones. They're controlling it because they're standing there behind it.
Okay. All right. Then may I act? Or...
Yes, you may act. That happened in that split second as you see the Spider Queen wrapped in that pink energy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what a pushover, right? Like that big one just got trapped by my by Twinkle Toes back here. So yeah, Chet is going to he is going to sort of shrug his shoulders a little bit and like shrink inwards for a second and then explode outwards. He is going to produce element. You can produce your force at will if you need a lot of it. Roll plus weird. So my force is darkness. So Chet wants to throw just a pool of darkness at these the 5 meat suits, as they are so lovingly called, hoping that they don't have other senses. They might, but he doesn't know. So worst case scenario, he takes away their vision. So I have to roll plus weird.
Yep. And I want to make sure that you marked experience for that sharp roll.
I did. I now have 3 points of experience. I'm almost leveled up already. I mean, this is
Almost.
like
Very nice.
win-win.
You might want to think about what you might take, because that happens in the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. For now, in this moment, I got a 10. On a 10 plus, you can make plenty of it. It being darkness.
So much darkness.
So Chet just again seems to shrink inwards, and then rather upsettingly to the uninitiated, a tidal wave of darkness just erupts from him in like a writhing mass and envelops the area surrounding and with the meat suits in it.
Sure. So you have them trapped in this wave of darkness, and you're like, yes, I'm targeting the masterminds behind everything.
This is it. This is my big move.
And feel free to make this narrative decision, because there's not a move that governs this. Can Chet just see in the darkness? That seems like a very Chet thing, because he is a being of the darkness.
It wouldn't be weird if he couldn't, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could make the choice for it to be weird, but I just wanted to confirm that.
No, I think Chet can see in the dark.
Sure. Bliss, are you going to maintain binding on the large bear-sized spider?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I do anything? Can I?
You could do mental things, I think, is what you could do. I don't think you can move, because you are bound in place as she is.
All right. Well, use a free action. I don't know. We don't have them in the system to yell, "What are you doing?" at Chet. And I'm gonna try to read a bad situation as well, just sort of assess what we might have missed here. Oh.
You are convinced as well. This bear-sized spider with the skull body is just a distraction. The true threat are these 5 human bodies being puppeted by these smaller spiders.
Oh no. Oh no.
That sucks
Chet
for
is
us.
onto something. He's never led you wrong before.
That's onto something. He's not. Well, I suppose I have to let this thing go then. It's the only thing that makes sense. I guess instead I will. I'll let this go. I'm gonna try and cast a cage around one of the smaller baddies. I guess they're already blind though.
As far as we know.
Yeah. That's true. I try to magic, lasso one of these little ones instead. That is a 7.
So you want to use magic to bind one of them.
Yes,
I don't know if you can see them is the thing. Because wave of darkness.
But they're the real threat. Oh
But
no.
They are the real threat. You know that Chet is engaging them. I'm not gonna if you want to do something else, that's fine. But I don't think you can see them to target them is the thing, because they are currently in a wall of darkness, effectively.
I've already got these ones locked down. If you want to just, keep the peon in check somehow, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see if they come out.
You can say you maintain that binding if you want. I'm not.
I guess
I'm trying to make this make sense, and right now they're in a sphere of darkness or a ball or a wall of darkness. I don't know how you could see them to target them, really.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'll keep the big one bound then.
All right.
Rather than letting it go.
You bear down. I think I want you to. You read a bad situation. You failed. I've got 2 hard moves. I think what's going to happen is 2 of these creatures are going to throw themselves out of the wall of darkness. They ran in your general direction, and so they burst out of this wall of darkness. and they happened to be close enough because hard moves, I get to do a thing. And they are going to actually attack you. They're holding very old, rusted-looking pickaxes in their hands. And they swing them at you. They do 2 harm, and they ignore armor.
Oh no!
Because they're designed to chip away at stone.
Rude.
So 2 harm, hand, ignore armor, messy.
Funny how many things you find that are ignore armor.
I've thrown one thing that ignores armor at you, and it's this one thing here.
Yeah. I was teasing.
2 harm each. For like 2 harm to you, and then 2 harm to you, Chet, 2 harm to Bliss, because 2 of the meat suits came out and 1 targeted each of you. Wanted to clarify that.
Okay. That's what I missed that before. Okay. I am
In that case, I'd like to try another heal on my friend Chet.
Sure, you can do that as long as you break that.
Yep, I'm gonna. Yep. I'm gonna have to let it go. My friend is in danger. I'm gonna use one of my holds this time.
Sure.
I keep forgetting they exist.
Nice.
Aha! That is 10 plus. I heal you 2 harm and stabilize you.
Thank you. I am now sitting at 2 out of 7 harm.
Very nice.
Get rid of the -1 ongoing. Oh yeah, that's right. Sanity Fallen just called out. The heal, if it goes through, will get rid of the -1 ongoing to cool. For you.
Fine?
Yeah.
Oh, because you got the. Does that count as medical attention? Nice.
I mean, that is medical attention right there.
Yes.
I'm
cool again.
I don't think
feel
you have to go
attended to
call for a
medically.
doctor to.
Okay. Then Chet will, Shadow Chet will nod to Bliss and turn his attention to the 2 that came out. He's going to position himself in between the 2 of them, if possible, and he will once again sort of radiate darkness. This time, it manifests, we'll say, as like a pair of like scythe-like dark forms, and he would like to use his aura attack, which is 3 harm, intimate, area, primal, obvious, lots of tags. So I would like to do this in such a way that it doesn't affect Bliss. Is that cool? Is that okay? Because it says area. That was my only concern.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't.
Okay.
Like, I think you could direct that. I think what might happen is on a miss, you might not disregard her. Is what might happen.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, let's hope I don't roll a miss.
No miss.
But
Oh no!
But wait.
But we have a couple +1s here. That one. All right, so I'm gonna take a +1 from Sanity Fallen, saying that reminds me. Here's another. Thank you, Sanity Fallen. You are funding our lives right now. That turns that 6 into a 7 for a mixed success.
So you trade established harm. So a pickaxe swing comes your way. I'm not going to have both of them attack you. That would be absolutely monstrous. But 2 harm, hand, ignore, armor, messy comes your way as you get another hole punched in you from that rusty old pickaxe. And you do harm both of them, and it's 3 harm, you said, right?
It's
and
3 harm.
Yep. And you tell us, you lash out with your scythe-like blades, and they're coming from your arms, I imagine?
Yeah, we'll say his, it says aura, but, like his his arms transform into, like, scythes and just sort of, they melt into scythes, and he whirls around.
I'm picturing like praying mantis almost.
I suppose so, maybe.
I mean, you can describe it however you want, but that's where my mind went, because you're fighting a bug.
Sure.
But...
So, yeah, then he'll... does that Is this a killing blow or?
Yes, you kill
then
them. You
he just-
destroy them.
He ironically chops both of their heads off, hopefully severing the spider's connection from the body.
Oh, you sever their heads. You do that. The heads land, roll over, and then boop, legs.
I hate that.
Ah!
They're much less dangerous in that form, though. I hope.
Nope.
And
I specifically built them that way. If you don't damage the head, then the head is a spider still.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that they're still a thing. Okay, well, I did say it, so now Chet has learned something. All right.
Hey, we learned something.
We learned something today. Cool. That's my turn.
Yeah. So two of the masterminds controlling this behemoth have fallen to Chet's scythe-like blades made of shadow, and you did free the large spider, and it's in front of you, and it's turning, and it looks angrily at you, Bliss.
I don't like that.
Is this an invitation for Bliss to do something, or I am unfamiliar with?
It is an invitation for Bliss to do something before I just decide to do something.
Oh yeah, we can't have that. Blast it. Yes. Quite good. I'm going to blast it. With kick some ass. Rolls up. I'm gonna use one of my forwards. Oh, that's a 13.
Dang.
Did not need that forward.
Pick your extra effect.
Yes. Let's. I think we inflict terrible harm. I think it just has to be done. Yes.
How much harm would
please.
that be total?
2 magic.
2 harm. It looks as though some of that damage sort of is rebuffed by its skull-like carapace, and it stands up high on its legs, and it tucks its little spider butt underneath, and a glob of webbing shoots out at you, and you are hit so forcefully you're thrown into a nearby tree, stuck to it.
Uncool.
Yikes.
Rude. Even.
Chet, you see all this happen. And in that field of darkness, you see 3 of those meat suits, as I'm calling them, sort of wandering around aimlessly and vaguely threatening nothing right now with their pickaxes. And there is this behemoth, this drone that these masterminds are commanding that has just aggressively webbed your companion. And it's very near you.
Ooh, very near me, huh? Chet will call out to Bliss. Bliss, do you have this?
Yeah.
All right.
Get that spider.
I will. And it seems that they can't see in the dark. More's the pity for them. And he'll then advance on the spider confidently. And he's gonna hit it with his aura attack again. So, we will roll. Plus tough. Come on, baby. Oh! I feel silly using all the +1s, so I'm gonna let that ride. That's a 6.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
dude.
Nick has forwards built into her character.
Yes. Use them.
Okay, don't have to tell me twice. I take the last +1 from Sanity Fallen, turning it into a mixed success. Ugh.
Sure. So you guys trade established harm. You turn around and you blast it, and you do 2 harm. And some of that shadow seems to slide off of it.
It's 3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought the
aura. Sorry,
Oh, you
the
did the
orb
aura.
is 2. The aura is 3.
Okay. Still, the scythe doesn't quite cut as deep as you expected, but it still does a decent amount of harm. And the spider, in return, slashes out at you. It is supersized. The blades on the ends of its feet are very, very potent. They do 3 harm. Does not penetrate armor.
Well, that's good, because otherwise I'd be dying. All right. Yikes, yikes, yikes. I have 1 harm remaining. Spicy. That's my turn.
So, Bliss, you see this happening to your companion. He attempted to fell this dumb brute of a drone, but it responded by cutting him like just across his torso, and there's just a massive spray of blood, and he looks awful. Absolutely awful. If you would like to try and trigger your healing move, you can. But I need you to act under pressure to free yourself.
All right. Yes, I will attempt to break out. Act under pressure. Oh, it's a next success.
So I think you don't completely free yourself, but I think you get your arms and sort of your torso free. I think you're still kind of stuck to the tree from like the waist down.
I managed to get the umbrella out.
Yeah.
Pointed at Chet.
Oh my gosh.
I think, oh, that's interesting. It's just a 13. I just rolled really well.
That's crazy.
You get 4 heals.
Wow. Holy crow.
Now, I can split it between patients, stabilizing anyone brought above 4 harm. Do you need all 4? Can I heal myself?
Well, I'm sitting at, I have 6 harm right now.
Oh, okay, go for it. Do it.
Okay. Thank you. I would be satisfied with just 3 if you want to take that 1.
If I can heal myself, can I, Jeff?
Oh, I thought you could split it between.
I can split it between patients, but
I don't see why you couldn't heal yourself.
Device comes with the ability to heal those around you.
Ah, that wording right there, I think.
That's why
would imply that you are excluded from your healing.
I thought that might be the case, which is fine.
Okay.
Take all of it.
Twist my arm. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm unless I have hard moves that I can use, like, I mean, I can jump in and do something as the narrative demands, but I tend to try and be reactive to what you guys want to do.
Okay.
So this healing energy came at you and revitalized you, and you're full of joy and happiness, and this feels weird.
It's weird. It's antithetical to my persona, especially as a being of shadow and darkness. So, yeah, I think Chet didn't like those claws going into him. So he's gonna move away from the, I'm gonna call her the queen because there's only so many times we can joke about it being a dumb drone. He's gonna move away from the queen and take a slightly more careful approach, hurling a globule of darkness and shadow at the queen, rolling to kick some ass with tough. Come on, something that's not a 6. Hey, it's a 7! Oh boy!
How many experience do you have right now, by the way?
3 experience.
Oh yeah, because you've used those plus ones.
Yeah, the plus ones have saved me. Otherwise, I would have leveled up. I almost said grown up.
A little bit of both.
Sure.
So you trade harm, and what I'm going to do here, because you said you moved away and you were trying to be a little bit more careful, and the orb does 2 harm, correct?
Yes.
So a little bit of that is deflected. Was this an actual orb of energy this time, or was it sort of a lash, or?
Orb of energy.
Okay. And a little bit of that's deflected, and I think much like what happened with Bliss, it kind of stands up almost stilt-like, and it tucks its butt underneath it, and it shoots a ball of webbing at you.
No!
Boy.
Sticking you to another tree. And
no,
Chet! I'm going to ask you to act under pressure to maintain that field of darkness.
Wait.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
isn't Shadow Puddle?
Oh,
Who
you're
cannot be
slippery.
restrained?
It goes right through you.
Oh my God! Nick, thank you for remembering my powers. Yes. Yeah.
That
yeah.
webbing hits you, it spreads out, and it just right through you like you're a ghost.
And Chet chuckles and says, "Not the first time that's happened." You did say that was a weirdly lucky thing for me to pick.
Yeah, and I forgot about it. Then I forgot.
As did I. How exciting. Okay, sweet. And
I recall my Chet, no! There was no reason.
You're like, Chet, no.
Come on, Twinkle Toes, you've seen me do this before.
And as that webbing is passing through Chet, is there anything Bliss would like to do? Because in that moment you're like, no, because you have forgotten that Chet is immune to being restrained.
Yeah, let's goodness. How's this situation looking? That's a 9. To read this bad situation here.
You're muted, Jet.
Yeah, you're talking to yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You do get to read that bad situation. That you're desperate now. You're like, what can we do to make this go away? How do we end this? And you read that bad situation. What question do you want to ask? Because you get 1 on a 9.
Yeah. What's most vulnerable to me?
So this spider butt has been pointed at you numerous times now, and you're looking close.
In the butt.
Well, what it is there appears to be some sort of. I mean, it's small compared to the spider, but it's relatively large compared to a person. There appears to be some sort of an egg sac stuck to her abdomen, and that looks like it might be, it's probably the next generation.
The egg sac. Can I take a shot with my umbrella? Or should I wait?
No, I mean that's a quick thing. If you're like, aha, that's a vulnerability, and you want to target that, feel free.
All right, sweet. In that case, let's kick some ass and use my last forward here. 13. I will inflict terrible harm.
Oh, damn.
On that egg sac.
So that's normally 1 harm. That goes to 2 harm, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you target that egg sac, and as you do, it explodes, and looking beyond the egg sac, you actually see that some of the energy that you discharged into the egg sac actually burst into the spider's abdomen, because there was actually a weakness, a hole, almost an umbilical situation. This is a weird spider, y'all. Or if you think about the back of the skull, there's the hole for the brainstem to go through and the spinal column to connect and all that. And you can describe how you kill this, from your perspective, spider drone after you explode that egg sac.
Does it crumple to the ground?
Sure. Yeah, if you want, I was going to give you narrative control to describe.
Oh. I think it goes splat from the inside.
Sure, it goes splat from the inside, or maybe that skull-shaped body cracks and it splits open, and it just.
Oh, I like
falls.
that better.
What?
So, I like that better. Yep, that one.
And it's just like this steaming pile there, and then looking around, those meat suits just slump, and those 2 severed heads that were skittering around slump.
Well, I guess that was the queen after all. Weird. I didn't read that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought for sure they're intelligent. They were like some kind of a hive mind too. No.
Like
I don't
those
think
weird
we're-
dogs that we found back in Chattanooga.
Right? We had to like kill all of the minions, and the big one was just a decoy.
That was
I thought so too.
a hard day.
It was a hard day.
Well,
I don't think we're saving these rafters though.
no. Unfortunately, they were taken well before we got here. Let me get you out of there. And Shadow Chet will, come over and pull the webbing off.
Ugh. Sticky.
Gross.
Gross.
Every dog has its nice.
I would like to prestidigitation the webs
Sure, yeah.
off of me.
I mean, at this point, you have sort of concluded the mystery, but we could narratively do some things. Would you investigate further, or would you be like, we figured this out, and just make your way back to civilization? What do you think you guys would do?
I think we have to check if there's more of those spider things hanging around. Right?
Yeah. We would follow the tracks back.
But,
So-
is there a net? Is there a nest?
So you do find a nest. There's a cave entrance, and it looks as though it's been chiseled and whitened over time. It doesn't look like there appears to be some recent work, but it looks to have been something that was a long time in coming. You find bodies after bodies after bodies, just spiders dropped. And as you go deeper in the cave, you find like the headless remains of a wolf, the headless remains of a bear, and then eventually you start finding like a couple human bodies, but they're old. Like they're starting to, break down. There's the remains of the skeleton, and you kind of piece together that like deepest in are the animal remains, and then as it gets further and further out, then it transitions, and you start noticing like the first set of human remains, and then you'll find a couple more, and it looks like these creatures came from beneath in this cave system, and the drones went out to find food, and eventually they found the surface, and it looks like at one point, like as you get in closest, it's not like a natural like cavern that you could walk out. It was like a crack or a seam, and then that's been widened over the decades as what it is the drones have gotten out, and they took over animal bodies and used those and tried to widen the tunnel, and eventually they got humans and tools, and they started mining their way out, and their end goal was to free the queen. If you use some magic, which I presume you could probably figure out that what happens is they are a hive mind, and when they take over a body, and they consume that brain matter actually, and they gain the knowledge. So initially they were getting the knowledge of like the bears, the wolves, the beavers, the various other animals, and then eventually they started snacking on humans, and things changed.
Yeah, what'll happen? We come back with dynamite, I think, and close this hole in the ground, just to be safe.
That's fine. You can do that. And now it's time for.
We don't even need to get dynamite, right? We're magic.
You got magic, yeah. You could do
We
something beyond
blow it
human
up.
limitations. You could blow up the entrance. You could collapse the tunnels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can make your way slowly back to civilization, because by the time you get back, your raft is just fully deflated.
Bummer. Jerk off. Mounties giving us bunk gear. I can't believe
Right?
it.
How do we always end up walking home every time?
Equipment is life or death out here. This is sloppy. Of course they didn't catch the killer. I mean, come on.
These two are definitely our regular team.
Yeah. No, I love this.
And that's the mystery. I abridged it and I was improvising on the fly because again, shorter time frame. But
Yeah.
when you end every session, there's 4 questions that we ask. Did we solve the current mystery? Did you
Yes.
save anyone from certain death? Did you learn anything new about the world? And did you learn
Yes.
anything new about the hunters?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Yes, you solved the current mystery. You did not save anyone from certain death. I'm not counting yourselves.
We were almost starting to death,
Oh,
but
we
no. No, we did
But
not.
Did you
no.
learn anything new about the world? Hit the nope spiders in the head. Yeah, the existence of these spiders, and at the end you pieced together what they were doing. And then you learned that Chet never poses intentionally, and how clutch is being made of shadow when things are spraying webs everywhere, everybody.
Right? That was great.
So, based on getting 3 of the 4 yeses, you get 2 experience points.
Oh,
Very
snap.
good.
Did any of you level up because of that?
I'm so close.
I did.
What's Chet taking? What advancement is Chet taking? Because who knows? Maybe we'll have another night where we do a one-shot.
Yeah, I would love that, actually. A long process for me of considerations. I'm torn
It's
between
so much easier.
taking another move or buffing. Probably tough. But
Take
yeah,
another move.
it's between those two. I really do like the moves.
I personally recommend taking the new moves because it adds more tools to the toolbox.
Yeah.
And
As
I don't
opposed to
mind
just
failing as much in the system because you're rewarded for it.
yeah. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll probably take a new move. Bend the elements would be really cool because it says you can freely manipulate and move your force, but can push it further. When you try to bend your force to do something extraordinary, roll plus weird with effects. I'm thinking like I could produce element and then bend the element. I could produce that wave of darkness and then use it to compress and trap, sort of like what Bliss was doing with her magical girl staff, umbrella. But things like that.
I like
so.
that umbrella was on the list.
Yeah.
Yo-Yo is also on the list.
It is, and guitar. The list is great. I was sitting here thinking to myself, there's a little sword on the list, isn't there? Just make She-Ra. I mean, I'm not just gonna make She-Ra. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, Dan did make a suggestion. If you're struggling with making kick some ass with tough, the Monstrous has a move called Unholy Strength, which lets you roll kick some ass with weird.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tough is actually weird is my top, and then I have charm and tough for my other two.
Okay.
I'm not cool.
So,
Cool, I
and-
have none.
See, I'm
And I-
not sharp, but otherwise you and I are identical.
Yeah. And most playbooks have at least 2 advancement options allowing you to pull moves from other playbooks. So
Yeah.
Yes. I will double check on this one. Take another primal move, take another primal move. Yeah, take a move from another playbook. So. Ooh. I could gain an elemental companion. They count as an ally. Pick their motivation with your keeper. That sounds pretty neat. But I think I'm just being influenced by, in my Pathfinder 2 game, Fist of the Ruby Phoenix, I have a Shadow Dog. So that would be, then I would have 2 Shadow Dogs. But anyway, yeah. So, do I have to choose now?
ideally, you choose in the moment, but if you want to bank it, you can. It'd probably be good to choose it now if you could, because if
So
we
I
have
don't
some
forget.
time between sessions, you don't forget.
Yeah, I'll either take another primal move or take a move from another playbook. But the latter just takes a lot of sifting through other playbooks that I would have to do. So
I'll share a link. I've got a master list of all of the moves that you can just look through if you want.
oh, that would be wonderful. Yes, thank you.
I did that because I'm insane. There's a lot of moves. But that concludes this one shot. I hope the 2 of you had fun. I hope the people that joined in had fun. I think some of the people watching were actually in the first time I ran this mystery.
Awesome.
Well, hopefully they enjoyed watching other people express horror at your Terrible, terrible nope spiders.
Yeah. So, thank you to everybody. Thank you to Michael Sands for writing Monster of the Week, Paizo this week. Thank you for the org server, which got me really playing Monster of the Week and gave me the experience, and it's great. And for those people joining us tonight, thank you for doing that. It's awesome. I liked having you here. Thank you, Tom, for running audio. Who did we listen to today?
We exclusively listened to Dark Fantasy Studios' The Attic, Seamless.
And specifically, I need to mention Mask of Swords in chat was the one that offhandedly mentioned Nahanni National Park to me, and then that inspired this entire mystery.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it was a good mystery. I liked it.
Nick, this Sunday?
This Sunday, goodness gracious. Oh, yes. They'll get to talk to the criminal that they tracked down last week, and hopefully put this poltergeist to rest once and for all.
And next week, we should, I've been saying this for so long, but we should actually be concluding book 4. You are in the room with Mokmurian.
I mean, what else could possibly happen to forestall this again, right? Like,
I mean, well,
certainly nothing will come up again.
I mean, real life
Couldn't be.
happens. Worst comes to worst. Oh no, I run Monster of the Week again. It's not like I don't have mysteries planned.
that's true.
I
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
Glad
this
you
is great
enjoyed it.
fun.
Super excited. Like, I've run for Nick. I know Nick likes it. I was super hopeful that you would like it, Tom.
Yeah. I listened to Adventure Zone play Monster of the Week, and then I think I played like one game with Odin from the Cosmic Crit server. So I have very little experience playing, but I do enjoy Monster of the Week.
Sure. If any of you listening or watching has any questions, comments, shout-outs, feel free. You can email us. We have nonstandardaction@gmail.com. All one word, no spaces, nothing fancy, just nonstandardaction@gmail.com. You also can contact us via Discord. The link should be below on Twitch or in the show notes if you're listening to a podcast form. And feel free to hit us on Discord. And on Discord, if you want, we have in the welcome channel and the feedback channel, we have a form, a link to a form, and on that form you can submit icebreaker questions, which we normally do, where you can ask questions of the characters, not necessarily the players. And usually we start a session and we'll throw an icebreaker out there, and everyone will answer on behalf of their character, and that's good fun. But I was a little off my game today because new system, anxiety.
You did great though.
Sort of cheating in Monster of the Week, since we get experience for learning something new about the hunters.
Like the first session, it's always a little awkward. Like, did we learn anything new? Yes, everything was new, but
Everything,
whatever.
yeah.
It's fine. I'm not. Oh no, Tom leveled up.
Terrible fate.
It's terrible. It's awful. Oh no, you guys are having fun and advancing and getting better at things. But with all of that being said, thank you all for those of you that watched or will listen in the future potentially. Thank you for playing, Nick and Tom. And I think it's time for us to say goodbye. And shoot.
Goodbye.
If you join us in Discord, we'll
and-
hang out afterwards and chat. I'm making this difficult for the two of you because I had that thought.
No, I'm not even
Too
trying.
many thoughts. You have too many thoughts.
Sorry.
That's not true. There's
You
no
say
such thing. Never
goodbye,
change.
full stop, and
Full
then
stop.
you can continue your thoughts. Come on, chat.
Yeah, okay. So goodbye, full stop. You can join us in general chat if you join us on our Discord. The link, like I said, below or in the show notes. And now, appropriate pause. It's time for us to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye to
Goodbye,
everybody.
everybody.
Is that a squirrel behind you?